Yay. Okay, so. Okay. So you asked about your love life and what does it look like right now and will you find love this year. So I pulled 5 cards for that, and I pulled it from the Spiritsong Tarot deck. Super pretty, love it, 10 out of 10. So that's what we're working off of today, and you got a pretty good variety here, to be honest. It's a good outlook nonetheless. Whether you'll find love this year, I'm getting the feeling that no, probably not this year. It's gonna be early next year is what I'm feeling right now. Is it's gonna be really early next year. Like, if it is this year, it's like late December. Mid to late December, early January is kind of where I'm feeling it. But you're gonna meet them this year. You know, you are going to come across them. They will become a part of your life. It's just you're not gonna recognize it until the following year in January. So that's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting from that. But on the cards that I pulled, sorry, you can't really see it because I have a weird setup going on. Yay! Okay. First one is the 7 of Feathers. And then we have Queen of Acorns. Then we have the World, which is a major arcana card. So that's a good thing that I'm getting. That's where I feel like, that's where I'm feeling kind of the early January, late December kind of thing. After that we have the Page of Crystals. And then we have the 4 of Acorns. And just to kind of give you an idea, because you might be familiar with the traditional setup, crystals are pentacles. I believe feathers are wands. Let me double check just to be sure. Okay, so acorns are wands. Sorry. Feathers are swords. And then crystals are pentacles, like I said. So, from this whole thing I'm getting here, a lot of it is you bringing a lot to the table when it comes to your next relationship. And so you kind of have like not high expectations, but you have high standards, which is good. That's a good thing. Like, make sure you keep those standards because you don't want to allow somebody in your life that doesn't match up with what you're looking for and what you require for your future, because then all they're going to do is just hold you back and drag you down, and you're not going to get to where you want to go, and you're not going to like be your best self. So it's good that you have high standards. That's not a problem. It's more of just like over this year making sure you keep those standards and not letting it dip. The Page of Crystals is really kind of giving that feeling to me, because crystals, pentacles, are like a physical manifestation card. It's the earth element, and pages are very kind of strict. At least the Page of Crystals is like, he knows what's going on. He knows what he wants. He has his ideas. He has his projects. And he knows how to stick to it well. And that's something that you just want to make sure that you can like hold on to. You want to hold on to your ideals, your morals. You want to make sure that whoever you end up with is going to match you and not either supersede you or hold you back. It's somebody that you're going to be able to grow with, and you guys are going to grow together. So that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting with that. But starting off with the first card, which is the 7 of Feathers, which is about, you know, preparation, resourcefulness, and since feathers are swords, it's more of an intelligence card. It's the air element, and it's more intelligence based. And it's also just kind of like your mental state, your mental health. So it's just mentally preparing yourself is what the Seven of Feathers is telling me. Being prepared to run into bad situations, but also a lot of self-care. I'm getting a lot of self-care from that too, especially with like the Queen of Acorns and the Four of Acorns. Since acorns are wands, they're passionate, they're creative, it's the fire element, and the Four of Acorns literally says comfort and community. So it is not basing your worth on whether or not you have a relationship going on, because a lot of people tend to do that, where they will, and of course it sucks to be lonely, obviously it sucks to be lonely, it sucks to be alone, but you can be alone and not be lonely, and you can be alone and be happy with that. And that's a place where you need to get to. That's something that you're really struggling with, and I can feel that's a huge part of like why you asked about your love life and what it looks like and if it's going to happen this year, is because you're looking at a lot of people, especially right now during, you know, quarantine and isolation. You're looking at a lot of people who have somebody that they can isolate with. You're looking at people who are obviously in a relationship, and you're not in one, and it can feel really isolating in itself to not have another person, and I completely understand that, but what you need to practice here is just self-care and self-love and learning to be happy while being alone, and to love yourself while being alone, and to be okay with being alone. Because what an ideal relation, I'm playing with something, what an ideal relationship is, what an ideal relationship looks like, is you being comfortable by yourself, and you are inviting someone else in, where you in a place where you're already okay, and they get to enjoy that comfort with you. But if they need to step away for a second, go do their own thing, you still have that happiness and that comfort space where you don't need someone there. And that's a really hard thing for a lot of people to do, is to base happiness on themselves, and their hobbies, and just base their happiness on what they particularly enjoy, not basing happiness off of another person or getting happiness from another person, because it can end up being really damaging. You can end up in really bad situations where you're so dependent on somebody else that being alone is just completely unfathomable, and you don't want to end up in that situation. I feel like you kind of have in the past ended up along that line of just not being able to be alone and be okay. So that's something that you really, really need to work on and practice here, is being okay with being alone. And, you know, practicing that self-love, taking up hobbies. Like, we are going to be stuck for a hot minute with how the world is right now, with how the government's handling things. Things are going to be rough for a bit. And rather than watching the news and reading Washington Post, or Huffington Post, I think is what it is, you need to pick up hobbies that you can work on, and not necessarily to like better yourself or to be productive, more just to distract yourself from the world around you, because you do need that kind of escape. And that can be through, you know, some form of art. I'm getting a huge feeling of video games. Maybe it's just because Animal Crossing came out recently and I've been obsessed with it and I've been playing it nonstop. So that might be something that you should think about, is just finding something else to do with your time, so that you're not constantly worrying and looking at other people and panicking about the future, because it's really easy to say and it's less easy to do, but panicking about the future doesn't do anything about the future. and it doesn't do anything about what's happening right now either. You know, there's only time and energy spent panicking can be time used toward a hobby or self-care, self-love, getting better at something, picking up something new, getting further in a game, learning how to play solitaire. But that's really what you need to focus on here, is less about your love life with another person and more about your relationship with yourself. That's really the big feeling that I'm getting here, though, is just learning to love yourself and being okay with yourself and being alone and having those hobbies and not needing to have another person around to make you happy. Once you can get to that place, then that's where you're going to, you know, not look for a relationship, but that's where you're going to come across one, really. And you're going to be able to invite that person in on your comfort space and your happy space and say, this is where I am right now. You know, you're welcome to join me. If not, you can go. I'll be fine without you. And that's what I'm feeling like the end of the year is probably what the timeline is, especially because of the World card, where it's fulfillment and it's celebration and it's just kind of the end of something. I know a lot of cards kind of say that, but that's like really what I'm getting, especially with the way that it's depicted. It's kind of like coming full circle. You know, you got the sun and the moon on here, and then everything else, like all the plants and the sea life, is just in spirals, and it's really the feeling of, you know, coming to a close on something, fulfillment, coming to the end, just closing the door on one journey and opening the door on the other. So that's where I'm really, really getting the vibe of, like, you're gonna meet them this year, but it's not gonna be until like December, January, where you're actually comfortable and ready to have a relationship and be healthy about it and be okay with it. But up to that point, really just focus on yourself, focus on loving yourself, focus on your hobbies, focus on morning affirmations. That's something that you really need to do too, that I'm kind of seeing right now, is when you wake up in the morning, you know, tell yourself nice things, compliment yourself, point out the things about you that you like, learn to love the things that you don't like. And you seem more like somebody who can kind of do that, not really out loud, but kind of on paper, like journaling. So if that's something that you wanted to pick up or you thought about picking up, or you just have like a morning affirmations journal where it's just, you know, tiny notebook, and each morning, you know, if you want to do it every day or just on the days where you feel like it, the days where you feel you actually need it, wake up and write something down about yourself that you like. Or wake up and, you know, say, today's going to be a good day. Today's going to be powerful. I'm a powerful person. I'm strong. I can do this. And also just affirming the fact that you have emotions too. Writing down, like, it's okay to be sad. Today I'm going to have a good cry and I'm going to watch this movie and I'm just going to be sad, and that's okay. And then the next day you feel better. But yeah, that's kind of it. I know it really wasn't super long, but that's just kind of, just love yourself. Love yourself. Insert video of that dude who was almost completely naked singing and dancing, saying respect yourself and love yourself. I hope you enjoyed the reading, though. I hope it gave you some insight, some comfort. If you have any questions, definitely let me know so that I can, you know, go over something in more detail, or if this just doesn't seem like it's really matching up with what you're feeling right now, if it seems kind of off the mark, you know, let me know too, and I'm happy to refund you just so you don't have to, you know, feel like you've wasted your money or something. Or if you need further clarification on anything, need me to pull a couple more cards, I'm happy to as well. But take care. I appreciate you booking a reading with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.